everyone and welcome to Lucy's Larking Adventures. We're out at this lovely brook just on the outskirts of Bath today. It's pretty sunny but the temperatures are quite cold, so hopefully the water level's not too bad. Looking alright so far. Lovely wild garlics blooming over the other side, look. So we're about to head down in and see what treasures we can find. See you in a second. Okay, so here we are in the water. Some bits are quite deep and the water's pretty cold, but it's not too bad. So we're going to head up a bit shallower up this way, so we'll go sort of against the flow of the river and up as far as we can. We didn't manage to get out last weekend. You may have noticed there was no video. There was quite a bad storm down in the southwest, Storm Hannah, so we're hoping that might have knocked out some more exciting stuff into the brooks for us to find, so fingers crossed. So let's have a look, see what we can find. So I've already spotted something that I'm interested in. Look at this lovely little pattern showing up. Oh, isn't that just beautiful? What a lovely little picture to find at the bottom of the water. That's great, isn't it? Really nice colours. And next to it there is this, which looks like a bottle, so pretty hard to tell from here whether it's any good or not, but I'm going to go in and have a look. It's got an old top on it, hasn't it, I think? It looks like it's got some writing actually. It looks like it's been there a while. What does it say? It looks like it says Radiant Kingswood, Bristol. So we're sort of between Bath and Bristol at the moment, so it's a pretty local one. I wonder what Radiant was. Definitely one to look up, but I reckon that's got a bit of age to it, you know, so I'm pretty pleased with that as a first find. So fingers crossed there will be more to come. But I'm going to try and clean this one up, empty it a little bit, and that's coming home. So I'm still just next to where I've just plucked that bottle out, and I've just seen a really interesting pattern under these sticks, look. Maybe you spotted it before, but I was distracted by the bottle. Look at that. What a shame that's not complete, but isn't that just stunning? I wonder how old that was and what stories that could tell. I'm almost tempted to take it home and clean it up, you know. And then I'll just pop that there a second. And then over here, I've seen something else just poking out of the bank at me. Let's have a little look at it. Can you see it? A bit muddy. Oh look, it's an old glass bottle stop. They're always nice to find. I think it says Fletcher's at Selby. So we found a couple of Fletcher's bottles before actually, and I've got some in my collection, so that'll be a nice addition. So it's going well so far, all the signs are good, so we'll head up and we'll let you know what else we can find. So I've just found an old bucket handle, look at that. Pretty common to find old iron sort of stuff like bucket handles for us, but always a bit of a pleasure because they've just got a bit of history and shape and just something nice about them, haven't they? And Ryan's just found something great as well, so let me show you that. Look at this. So two pieces, almost in the same place, but separated. So we're not sure if they're from the same tap or not, but look at this old tap. Isn't it just magnificent? I think that you could almost kind of go and buy that from a sort of restoration place, couldn't you? Cleaned up, and it would look great, wouldn't it? Back in a home or something. So yeah, that's really super. Good find. So Ryan's going to take it home and clean it up and see how it comes up. So we'll go on a little bit further. We'll bring you back when we find something else. It's always a pleasure to find the lovely humble paste jar, and now its little cousin's sort of mustard jar here on this side that I seem to be finding more and more of. But it's a really nice paste jar, isn't it? Look at that. So I'm a bit pleased with it, and I've spotted something else along here that I'm going to take you with me to pull out, so bear with me a second. So in this little murky bit here, I've just spotted the signs of a bottle, and I don't know if it's complete or what it looks like, but come with me and we'll have a look together. Can you see it here? Crikey, it looks like it's been there a long time, that's for sure. It's a really great shape, isn't it? It's almost like a sort of pharmacist sort of shaped bottle, but I can't see any writing on it, sadly, so it would have had a label, I assume. Look The old top. It's pretty sweet, isn't it? So I think it's probably a keeper for me. Let's hope there's more to come. So I'm just having a look along the sort of edges of the banks here under this lovely wild garlic. I bet you imagine you can smell it at home, right? It smells great. And I've just pulled this out. And I wonder what it is. I cannot fathom it at all. I don't know if it's old, if it's obvious. So let me know what you think. And then I've also just spotted over here, look, little signs of a buried bottle. So it's got a screw cap, that's all we kind of know about it so far. Let's try and get it out, shall we? Oh, that was a pleasant sound. Broken, unfortunately, at the bottom there, look. And blank as well, so no clues as to what it would have been. But still, got to have a look, haven't you? I'm going to head off a little bit further up now. I'll bring you back soon. Okay, Ryan's headed off a bit further up. I'm just going to have a little slow mooch round this bit here. You can probably see, although maybe you can't because the sun, I realise, is shining off, but there's quite a lot of green slimy weeds under the water, so I'll take my time. And I realise that you don't have the benefit of the polarised sunglasses which I'm wearing, but I will bring you with me, and if I spot anything we can have a look together. Just the bottom of a bottle there, I'll get that out of there. Oh look, that's pleasant, isn't it? Lovely little wavy design. Oh look. Isn't that funny? Just sitting in there, look. What you got? What a very pleasing shape that is, actually. Isn't it great? Here's a little, what I like to refer to as a beachy bit. Always quite fun to have a look around on. Didn't think there was much left of that. An old jar. Quite often on these beachy bits you do get broken remains, but it's quite good to just sort of gauge what sort of age things are. Just plain piece, which is always a shame. Okay, it's getting pretty hard to see here, so I'm going to go back, gather my stuff, and then head a bit further up and catch up with Ryan, and we'll see if he's found anything. I'll bring you back in a sec. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick roundup of some things that Ryan has found. So he's been having a look in the banks, just right down at the water's edge, and has dug out a couple of things that were just sort of peeking out. So we were hoping that the storm might have allowed us to find a few more things, and it looks like it has, so that's great. Now I'll start here because this is a sweet little glass jar. No signs of what it was, but then when we turn it over, it says on the bottom, dumpy Maltonian, I think is what it says. A dumpy Maltonian jar. So, I mean, hopefully I'll be able to look that up and find something about it. If you recognise it, give me a shout in the comments. Love to learn from you guys, so thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with me. This is a little glass, it looks like a little glass vial. Look at it. Open on one end, closed on the other, so don't know what that is. But it's interesting, isn't it, that it survived goodness knows how long in the banks of this brook. Now this is just stunning, look at this. This came out, no handle unfortunately. So I always say, don't know, that the handles are obviously the easiest bit to survive, except clearly not when the rest of it is still intact. But just look, underneath all of this mud, there's a stunning, excuse me, there is a stunning picture. Look, isn't that just brilliant? So I cannot wait to get that home, clean it up and see what's, oh, would you look at that? Is that the handle inside of it? It is. It is. That is crazy. That's the handle inside of it. Do you know, you can't help but wonder, can you, whether the handle broke and that's why it's been thrown out, and it's just been thrown out like that. That's just, wow, that's crazy. That was full up with mud, and now, you know, at the bottom of it, the handle's in there. That's blown my mind. And there's the other chip off the side, look at that. Honestly. Well, that's crazy, isn't it? I'm going to have to try and glue it together, aren't I? Put it back to its former glory. So yeah, over the moon with that one. And then I just picked up this out of the water. You can tell it's been in the water, look. And I've got a feeling that under there's a really nice sort of greeny design. Look, you can just see the colour coming through. So I'm really intrigued to go and clean it up and see what these flowers are and have a look what it looks like. So it's coming home. We found another one. So that's brilliant, isn't it? Always love to find these, and I know some of you do too when I find them. And I've just spotted something here which is also, I think, one of my favourite things to find, so let's go and have a look if it is. Yeah, it is. Look at that, a little bit of milk glass. This would have been like a cosmetics jar or something. Quite often it says ponds on the bottom, and this one does as well. Look at that. So yeah, love those. They clean up really nicely as well, so that's going to go in my cabinet at home. So I've just found a little interesting crop of things all together, look. So let's start over here because this one looks like broken, I think. That's not too bad, actually. Look at that. I don't know how old that is. That's quite pleasing to find, isn't it? What's this jar? It's a Kilner jar. Would you look at that? I've never found one of those before, actually, you know. What does it say underneath? Registered, improved, I think it says, and then registered like a trademark. So yeah, that's pretty neat, isn't it? Don't know. Quite often find jars, but I don't think I've ever found a Kilner one, so I might take it home, even though it's probably not the oldest thing we've ever found. And then look at this. I mean, this bottle looks like it's been there for an absolute age, doesn't it? But does that mean it's old? Not necessarily. Let's have a look. Do you know, I think that might be an old label. Is that an old paper label? I think it is, you know. Yeah, look, you can just see the edge there of a paper label that would have been stuck on it. It's absolutely full up, but it's got quite an interesting shape, hasn't it? I wonder if anyone recognises it and can tell me what would have been in it. Unfortunately, the label's too far gone now, look, to identify it. But that's interesting, isn't it? Certainly never found one like that before, with the label half on, half off. So I've just spotted something under the water there. Can you see it as well? I'm going to go in and pull it out. Look at it. It is what I thought it was, a little tiny buckle. Isn't that magnificent? I absolutely love finding these. I've watched people find them for ages, and don't very often find them in the water actually, but when we do, it's always a pleasure. So that's really sweet. The smaller the better, I like to think. And there is something else just there as well which I've noticed. I'm going to go and see what it is, just in case. Oh, I don't know. Some sort of clasp, isn't it? Hard to tell what that was. But yeah, I'm really pleased with my little buckle. So we're heading up a bit further up that way now. I'll bring you back soon. Hi guys, so I'm going to bring you back and have a bit of a catch up from things that Ryan's found. So I told you before he's digging in the edge of the bank, just having a look right down at the water's edge. We're not bottle diggers, so we don't kind of, dig great big holes. We leave that to the pros because they know what they're doing much more than we do. But if there are things poking out, we like to have a look at them. So I'll show you what he's found. First of all, look, this lovely little paste jar. That's 3 today, so that's a bit of a bonus, isn't it? A lovely CWS one. They're pretty, aren't they? Then we've got a lovely bottle. Look at that. It's like a brown colour, isn't it? Yeah. So that would have been, what, a medicine bottle, I think. Let's see some numbers and things on the bottom. So it's a screw top, so it's a bit more modern than some of the things the sort of pros look for, but that's okay. And you can tell we're getting more modern because we found that bottle just a minute ago with the remains of a paper label on. And look at this. This also has got the remains of a paper label on. I think this is Camp Coffee. Yes, look. SCWS. And what does it say there? Shield Hall. So we found some of these bottles before, just blank. The reason they're blank is, of course, because they had these paper labels on. Look at that. It's a shame that we can't quite see the design. I love to find old advertising stuff. Still a bit of the instructions there at the bottom, look, so that's quite super. And a couple more. This lovely dumpy little paste jar, look at that, I've not got one like that. So that's lovely. That's a definite keeper for me. I know I say this quite often, but paste jars are not glue. Some of you, if you've not heard my explanation before, it's like a meat paste that you would have had on like crackers or bread. Really cheap, really sort of sustainable, I guess, in a few years ago. So for people that didn't have a lot of money, it was a really great staple. Hence, they're really common around here. So that's why we find so many of them. And then this is my utter favourite. Look at this, an old jar. Great shape to it. And another little bit of advertising on the front. So this is Heinz. I'm just going to really carefully rub it because I don't want to rub the rest of the label off. But you can just see the Heinz label there, look. I can't quite work out what it is. It looks like it says nuts there. So I'll see if I can identify it. But yeah, really lovely to find some stuff with the branding still on. So it shows that we're kind of a little bit more modern here than we have been in sort of other places. But, that's okay. I still find it pretty cool to find stuff that would have been in someone's home that, is part of someone's life. And it's not very often you get to find something like that, is it? So Ryan's had a pretty good haul from the bank. He's headed up now a bit further up river. I'm going to follow behind him and we'll bring you back soon. Would you look at what Ryan's just found? Look at this. Max Factor Hollywood, it says. So that's got to be like, what, 70s, I reckon. And if I take the lid off, I thought it was a lipstick. But I will just show you. It's still got some of the product inside. It looks like a foundation or maybe a concealer. Look at that. It's a strange thing to find in a bottle dump. But I'm really pleased with it. I love it. Spotted a bottle here, so let's go and have a look and see what it is. I can't see any writing on it. Oh yes, I can. Oh, it says Bristol. That's always nice, isn't it? Does it say anything else? It looks like it says Keystone something, but try and give it a bit of a clean up. See what I can find out about it, because it's not a name that I've heard of. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Always nice to find something really local. So yeah, really pleased with that. That's the second Bristol bottle of today. Look, here's another bottle that was just ready to be found, poking out the bank, bottom first. And look at it, still got the lid on. It's a plastic lid, but quite an unusual one. I can't see any signs of what it was. I assume it would have had the paper label on. It's obviously a sort of older dump here. But it's still got some juice in it, which I assume is the original, whatever it was, plus some extra stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's always nice to find something that's closed. So we're having lots of bottle finds today, and look at this. This is flag sauce. Look at the size of it. It's absolutely huge. It's got the older top on it, look. So if any of you remember flag sauce, let me know. Certainly not something I've used, but I mean, it must have been popular to have come in bottles that size, don't you think? So this is one of the more unusual finds we've ever had. Look at this. Thought it was a bottle at first, but it isn't. It can't be. It's got to be a vase, hasn't it? Absolutely full up of years worth of crud, river junk. Look at that. Survived all that time, isn't that weird? So look at this, they just keep coming today. This absolute beauty that Ryan's just pulled out. It looks like a clay ink bottle, do you think? Or maybe a black ink bottle. Oh look, it's got a little mark there. Let's see what it says. Not quite. But I'm going to clean it up and I'll let you know. And I don't think we've ever found a complete one of these, you know? I might be wrong. So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really pleased with that. Can't wait to get that home and clean it up. Actually, let's just give it a little wipe off now on that mark and just see if we can work out what it says. The benefit of water here, don't I? So it looks like it says, oh sorry, you can't see it, can you? Born dairy, I think. So yeah, a bit more cleaning up to do. What do you think of that? So that's find of the day so far for me, definitely. I'm really over the moon with it. And I can't wait to get it home and give it a good clean up. So we're definitely of the impression that the recent storms and bad weather have done us some favours, because there's so much to be found just from poking around the edges of the banks. And look at this one. This is a great bottle, isn't it? What a great shape. Still got the lid on again, look, that plastic lid. And just the remnants there, look, of the label. It's a shame that they can't be preserved, really. But still, it's a keeper. Okay, I'm going to catch up on a few things that we found, because I'm a little bit behind with showing you some stuff that I've pulled out. It's been a bit treacherous to walk, so I've not been filming as I've gone. So apologies for that, but let me catch you up now. So I found this lovely little bottle here, look. Would have had a great stopper in it. And it's a really great size, isn't it? Apologies about the state of my muddy hands. So yeah, that's a really nice little... It's got that little sheen on it, look. So I'm going to take that home, clean it up, do something nice with it. There's a couple of other interesting things here, look. We found some of these bottles before, and I always assume that they're some sort of like spirit or something, you know, liquor, just from the shape of it. It's got the screw cap there, look. But they're a really sort of fascinating shape to me. Quite like finding those. You wait there a minute. What's this one? This is another one that looks like it's got a real sort of medical look to it, hasn't it? You can just imagine it with a little stopper on an old paper label, probably in a pharmacy somewhere. It absolutely just feels so light, that one, which is interesting. I found this in the water, this lovely bit of blue and white plate. Always a lovely thing to find, just sort of poking up at you. Look at the colours, the birds and the trees, and just delightful, aren't they? The attention to detail is really beautiful. And then this really interesting jar that Ryan found, and look at the shape of it. It's just magnificent, isn't it? So I imagine this is a sort of olive jar or pickles maybe, just because the shape is, I don't know, it's just, it's a different kind of shape, isn't it? So yeah, that's a really super find. And then a couple of other little ones that I found. So this looks like a miniature sauce bottle. I don't know if they ever did them in this size. We've certainly never found one before. Oh look, have you just found another one? Ryan's just come across with another one, look. So we've got a matching pair, and that one's still got a lid on it, which is great. So yeah, definitely keepers now. Always nice to have a matching pair of anything. I'm pleased with those. And then this one here, just nestled in the top of the water, just waiting to be found. Look at that.
That one as well.
And this one. Oh, well done. So yeah, lots of cleaning to do, I think. Oh, really nice, aren't they? I love small bottles. I think the smaller the better. So absolutely tons being found today, which is really great, both in the water and in the banks. We've got one more?
Yeah.
Oh look, oh I love these.
Green as well.
Yeah, that lovely sort of green coloured glass, and it's tablespoons, so that would have been your cod liver oil, and you would measure it out of the bottle. Look, I just think that's such a great design. I mean, brilliant, isn't it, really? So I've got a couple of those already, but they look really nice cleaned up. They've got that sort of bluish green sort of tinge to them. So yeah, isn't that great? So it's not like the oldest stuff. We're not finding stuff from the sort of 19th century, but it's enough to keep me entertained anyway, so I hope you're enjoying it too. We're going to head back now, so we're going against the water. I'll try and film as much as I can and let you know what we find. I'll catch you up soon. Okay, so quite commonly I say that I'm going to get out, but then I find some more interesting stuff to show you. So I'm just going to show you two things that I found on my way back. This old ceramic lid. I can never tell actually which end is the lid. That could have been the bottom and it would have had the lid on the top, but it would have been some sort of powder. And I really want to find a good condition one with a brand on it, but not yet. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction. And then a lovely little bottle. Look at this one. This is Dinnerford's Magnesia, made in England, and it's really quite a pleasing shape. Haven't got one of those, so that's a definite one to add to the collection. So yeah, really pleased with those on the way out. But this is my exit here, so we're heading up out of the water and back home. See you shortly. Okay, hi everyone. So here we are back home. Time for an at-home roundup, because I don't think we've had one for a little while. So yeah, let's show you some of the lovely things that we found today. So we're going to start off with all of the sort of glass jars and bottles and that sort of thing, and this lovely jug here. So let's just kind of go around and see what we've got. So not a glass or a jar at all, but this lovely Max Factor foundation or concealer. I've given it a little bit of a clean, but not too much. Look, you can still see some of the makeup in there. So just a completely unusual find, so I'm going to keep it. Max Factor Hollywood that was, apparently. Some paste jars, of course. I haven't cleaned this one, so just to show you how hard they are to clean. Look, it took me ages to clean this one, and it's still not there. So yeah, it'll go back in for a clean. All of these things have just had a bit of a kind of once over, really, so apologies for that. This is a lovely one though, CWS sort of paste jar, and it's cleaned up beautifully and easily. And then some of these smaller sort of mustard jars here, I really like this one. This has still got the remnants of a lid on it, look, so they're pretty neat. And then this lovely little jar here, this is one that says Dumpy Meltonian jar, so how intriguing. And then we've got some other jars at the back here. So we've got this lovely, this was the Heinz one. We saw the label sadly has disintegrated. Now there's still a little bit around the top, but it's a lovely jar all the same, so it's come home. Then we've got this one, which is again a really lovely shape, I think. Some sort of pickles or something, would you say? We've got my nice Kilner jar at the back. Look at that, that's cleaned up beautifully. I'm really pleased with that one, actually. I wonder how old that is. If you can help me age it, let me know. Like I said, never found one of these before, so it looks good, all clean. And then on to sort of bottles. So we've got this Bristol. This, it actually does say Keystone Co. Bristol. You can see that they've not had much of a sort of chance to clean that one particularly. We've got the tablespoons one at the back, so cod liver, that lovely blue colour. Look, looks great, doesn't it? These are always fun to find, aren't they? It's plain one. This is the Magnesia. Dinnerford's Magnesia, made in England. So that's a nice one to add to the collection. This one's still with the lid on. The other one that had the lid on did come home, but it sadly got broken in the cleaning process, so that was my fault. And then a few of the other sort of plain ones, but small and quite enjoyable, I think. I couldn't get the lid off of this one. This is one of my matching pairs, so I've not had a chance to clean it yet. But I'll get Ryan to take the lid off, clean it up, and put it with its brother there. Look, looks pretty neat, doesn't it, together? A few smaller things here to look at. So this lovely piece of pottery. This is the mystery item, so any ideas what it is? Perhaps it's nothing interesting at all, but you know, I thought I'd bring it home just in case, you never know. A lovely marble, which I forgot to show you when I found it actually, but look at it. But I love to find marbles. The colours are just brilliant, aren't they? So really super pleased with that. Lovely glass bottle stop, which is the Fletcher's Selby. So that's going to be housed with a Fletcher's bottle that we've got in the collection. My tiny buckle. And this little vial. This has come home because I'm intrigued by it. So again, if you can help with that, let me know. And then this bottle at the back, which I passed over, is Radiant Kingswood, Bristol, the first one that I think that we found today. So a really nice bottle to find there, nice local one. You can see I still need to clean it a little bit. And then the jug. So Ryan found this jug, and you'll remember when I was emptying the mud out of the middle, I found this missing piece here and the handle inside the jug. So it had obviously been broken, the pieces have been put inside and it had been thrown away, and there it had stayed ever since. And Ryan's just sort of tentatively glued it back together for me. And look at it, isn't it just lovely? The picture is just stunning. So we've never found one as complete as that. And so it's an added bonus to find the missing pieces inside. I really can't kind of believe that happened, really. It looks super, doesn't it? And then I've just got a couple more things to show you, so bear with me and I'll bring you back in one sec. So I just skipped over this one inadvertently because this is probably one of my finds of the day. We've never found a complete one before, and I had thought it was maybe like an ink bottle or something, but it has got the symbol that you could just see when I pulled it out. It says Born Denby. So I don't know if that helps us to identify it or not. Let me know what you think. But either way, I'm really pleased that I found my first one of those in complete condition. So let me just show you the next thing. See you in a sec. So here's this lovely tap that was one of Ryan's first finds today. It's really just lovely, isn't it? Look at it, great shape. And Ryan's really excited about it because he used to collect these, and I think smaller versions of these would go on the front of the old stationary engines, like a Lister D, that sort of thing, which Ryan has sort of collected over time. So what he's going to do is he's actually going to restore this. He's going to clean it up and get some of its former glory back. So it's going to take a little while, so we'll bring you back in a later video to show you what that looks like when it's been given a new lease of life. Okay, and then to finish our video off, I just wanted to show you this lovely gift that we've had from one of our viewers. So thank you, Sandra, who sent this to us. Really just delighted to receive it because, as you know, we find a lot of blue and white pottery. Always a pleasure to find. And I've never seen this sort of serving platter before. So it's just lovely to have this to be able to compare our pieces to, and just to, yeah, to kind of have to look at with our collection. So thank you very much for that. So I wanted to show you guys that because I found a couple of pieces of blue and white today. So let me just show you what I found. So I found this lovely piece of a side plate, look, and you can just see the patterns are so similar. Lots of the same sort of markings, and you know, quite often the sort of trees and the birds there. We've got the birds here, and it's really similar sort of edging, look. So quite sort of common patterns, although I will at some point hopefully learn how to identify the different willow patterns. There's a way to do it. Look at this guy on his boot. And then I found this as well, which is a really intriguing shape that came out. And so I really liked it, and it's cleaned up beautifully. Look at the colours. It's great, isn't it? And so I was just looking at these guys. Look at that. On a little bridge there with a tree behind them, and then a house. And the pattern there, and I just compared it to this plate that had come through, and look, you can just see there the same pattern. So you've got the same bridge with the tree behind it and the house, just in a bigger size. So yeah, how wonderful is that I'm able to compare that to something I found in the river. There's not much left of, and this lovely gift that's come through. So thank you for that. And the only other piece of pottery that I found and brought today was this one. And this has cleaned up beautifully. Look at that lovely green pattern. So I'm going to try and think of something lovely to make out of that, because I think it needs a new lease of life. Definitely too good to let that pattern go to waste, isn't it? Look at that. So that's the end of the video today. I really hope that you've enjoyed our adventures. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget that you can find me on Facebook, Lucy Larking, or on Instagram, Lucy Larking, and also on Twitter at Lucy Larking. So do check me out there, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.